Which leads me to this discussion that I want to have about Korey Foreman. Right? I'm going to check on your questions first. If you have those questions, let me know. How many kids will flip due to COVID? A bunch, Justin. I think that the decommitments are going to happen probably as soon as we start playing meaningful college football and the best teams seem to separate inside of their conferences. But leave it to Nick Saban to go and get anybody else that he wants that he hasn't got already, right? So I think that that's going to happen. Now, in regard to Korey Foreman, when he listed his top schools the last time, the one that got everybody's attention was Howard University. For those of you that do not know, Howard University is a historically black college in Washington, D.C. It's like a Harvard of HBCUs. Ta-Nehisi Coates went to Howard. Bill Cosby, went to Howard. Kamala Harris went to Howard. I mean, there's a number of great people that graduated from Howard. Now, what I found to be interesting about this is not that he put him on the list, Korey Foreman put him on the list. It's what Larry Scott, the head coach at Howard, had to say about recruiting those guys. And the quote that he gave when he was hired on February 6th after having coached private schools in Washington, D.C. and had stops at Florida, Miami, and elsewhere was no more excuses about why historically black colleges don't recruit these guys. We all know the deal at the end of the day, but we're going to go after them. He went on to say, we've seen major strides from overall infrastructure to improving our facilities, practice equipment, working facilities that are putting us on a really good trajectory to have a lot of success here. Just overall experience, the true cultural experience you're going to get that's going to be far deeper and richer than if you attended a 4-year SEC or ACC program. He referenced guys like McCord Maker, who decided that he was going to commit to Howard University. The thing is, that dude is a great player, but he's not a 5-star recruit. He's a top 70 player according to most rankings. So you wouldn't even expect him to get drafted in the upcoming draft. But if he put together an outstanding career at Howard, that actually might be worth its weight in gold, right? Same thing for Korey Foreman. That said, it's still Howard, which is to say that they don't play what many people would see as a competitive schedule or in a competitive conference. The best players are always going to find ways to get into the NFL. It's about how easier that path is if you choose to go to LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, because you know that people already recognize those as football powerhouses. You also know that they recognize the development that goes on at those institutions. You also know that the training table is better. And for some, the education they believe is better. I think Howard would take you up on that and say, fight me. But the opportunity for Howard to impress Korey Foreman is also there. And to some degree, you're on equal footing with these Power 5 programs, the likes of which can't actually have you on campus, right? Because they can't have you on campus, how good are you with the FaceTime? How good are you with the Zoom? How good are you with the virtual visit? Like Oklahoma put on a virtual visit for Danny Stutzman, a 3-star inside linebacker for them, committed in 2021 class. And they made certain that his favorite muscle cars were parked in the middle of Owen Field at Memorial Stadium, just to show him that this was personalized and that they had been thinking about him and that they had found out things to impress him from people around him. Showing that kind of care, showing that kind of nature is always going to be a good thing. We all like to be recruited. I don't know anybody that doesn't like to be recruited. As a matter of fact, many of y'all do not deserve to be married to the woman that you picked, or more to the point, that you wore down, because you did not get her by saying, I got a spot. You can take the spot right now, or I can get the spot to somebody else, but I only got a spot and it's ticking. You got this much time to take the spot. Do you want it or not? No. You got her by beating down her door, by groveling, by bringing flowers and chocolate, by not skimping on the check, by not batting an eye when she ordered the lobster or the steak, by getting that extra bottle of red wine, because you knew what it was going to take to be able to get a woman of that caliber. And frankly, y'all ain't got the looks to pull that off. And because you ain't got the looks to pull that off, you understand that you got to go out of your way to do a little bit extra. Maybe you got to go hit the gym. Maybe you got to look a certain way. Maybe you got to make a little bit of money. Maybe you have to be able to prove to her pops and her moms that you can take care of her. All things that college football coaches have to do on the regular. And if you are at an FCS program like Howard, yeah, you're going to have to pull out all the stops. Even after getting Kalen Newton to commit and sign there and play there, he still grad transferred to Auburn. You understand that that's just going to be the way that it is. But in the process, if you can build yourself another North Dakota State kind of program, that's what you want. Because North Dakota State is a dynasty unto itself in Fargo, North Dakota. Washington, D.C. is Chocolate City. It's one of the blackest cities in all of America. You ought to be able to make it work in normal time. And that's all what Larry Scott is pointing to. He's saying, look, the tools are here. Do we have the Alabama situation? No. Do we have the LSU locker room? No. But we got other stuff. We know that you'll be welcome here. You're not going to be a speck on campus. You're going to be one of many, right? This is a safe place for you. We understand you. The cultural experience that they're building out for you. That's what they're going to try to sell Korey Foreman on. That's one of the reasons that Korey Foreman put them on the list, is to try to give them an opportunity to woo him. Now, the man is an LSU lean. We understand that. He's from Los Angeles. To choose to travel from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. to go to college, especially and not play big-time college football, would be a tremendous move. And it'd be a tremendous win for the Howard University Bison. I don't see it happening, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. And I think most people would admit that and acknowledge that. And that's okay, right? It's okay for that not to be it. It's okay for Korey Foreman to choose USC or Georgia or LSU or Alabama or Clemson, for that matter, where he was once committed and opened up his commitment or reopened his recruiting in April. That's all right. We get that. But if Howard can make a dent, let's say make his top 3, that's going to be great for Howard, because they might actually be able to get the next dude. And that's what recruiting is about. It's the next dude, right? One of the things that you want to be able to say as a married man, as a person in love with the person that you found, is to make other people jealous that perhaps they did not take you up on your offer some years ago. Some of y'all got stories about ex-fiancés, ex-girlfriends trying to hit y'all up, talking about you got a little paper now. I kind of want to talk to you. That's where you want to be, because you know that you did the best that you possibly could. You left everything that you had out there. And if they say no, they say no, right? And then you pick yourself up and you try to make it happen. All right, talk a little bit about some freshmen that are popping. Talk a little bit about, some freshmen that are popping. But first, I want to do a read. All right. Always wanted to get your MBA? What's the holdup? If it's tuition fees, let me tell you, the folks at the Get Money Management Institute have a deal for you. At the Get Money Management Institute, they've just slashed their interest fee, their late fee, their slushy fee, and your fee by 50%. That's right. It's now officially affordable to get your MBA at the Get Money Management Institute. Secure your space in our MBA program today at the Get Money Management Institute. It just takes one phone call to get this online degree that's not worth the effort to blow your nose with it. At the Get Money Management Institute, mention RJ and receive an additional 20% off at the online campus e-bookstore. Secure your future with a GMMI MBA today, or as they call it, a Master Badass Diploma today. Some restrictions may apply. Absolutely, positively, no refunds.